Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 24 quarterback rankings for week 8. Richard, you ready?
Week 8, let's go.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
Fantasy Goodfellas. All right, before we get started in this week's video, tell me how you did last week.
If we take out Russell Wilson, who didn't play, we hit on 20 of our 23 to include our top 14. We hit on all of our top 14. We simply missed on Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, and Zach Wilson. So 20 of 23.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see if we can keep that train rolling. All right, before we get started, let me just explain what you should expect in our video. Richard's going to give his rankings. I'm going to use the stat machine to see if you agree or disagree with each of his rankings, and hopefully this will help you with your own lineups. All right, Richard, line them up.
First, I'd like to remind everyone that Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert will be on a bye this week. And number 1, we have Josh Allen, who will be home against Green Bay, the best quarterback, been consistent all year, has got a dynamic offense. And number 2, we have Joe Burrow at Cleveland. We're going to ride that hot hand. Joe Burrow was unbelievable in week 7. I believe that trend will continue. And number 3, we have Jalen Hurts, who'll be home against Pittsburgh. Jalen Hurts has the legs, must score those rushing touchdowns, but he's been very strong this season. And number 4, Kyler Murray, who will be at Minnesota. Another dual threat quarterback. He lost Marquise Brown, but he gained DeAndre Hopkins, and we saw how much he loves Hopkins. And number 5, Kirk Cousins, home against Arizona. Kirk Cousins, what can you say? He has Justin Jefferson, he has Adam Thielen, he has Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. Let's hope he warms up. And number 6, Tua Tagovailoa at Detroit. Tua didn't look He didn't look very, very good in week 7. We're hoping that was just a little rust. He's got a fantastic matchup in week 8, Detroit. And of course, he has Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Gotta love that. And number 7, Lamar Jackson, who will be at Tampa Bay. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be complaining, how the hell is Lamar Jackson number 7? Well, here's where Lamar Jackson ranked the last 4 weeks: 21, 15, 13, and 20. So that's 4 consecutive weeks. He's not in the top 12, but we still give him respect and put him in 7. And number 8, Tom Brady, home against Baltimore. Tom Brady may drop out of our top 10. We'll see how he does this week. He did not have a good game against Carolina. Everybody keeps talking about that one pass Mike Evans dropped, but this game should not have been close. And number 9, Dak Prescott, home against Chicago. Dak also looked rusty, didn't have a great week 7. We expect him to rebound, but Chicago looked good on Monday night. And number 10, Geno Smith, home against the New York Giants. Geno Smith has been rolling. Unfortunately, he may not have DK Metcalf in this game, but he lost Metcalf in the first quarter last week, and it really didn't stop him. And he also has the hard running of Kenneth Walker III. At number 11, Daniel Jones at Seattle. Daniel Jones showing some life. The G-men are doing great. And, Daniel Jones, he can run. So as long as he gets some running yards, throws a touchdown pass here and there, he'll be fine. And number 12, Derek Carr at New Orleans. Derek Carr, as we said all year, inconsistent, but barely makes the top 12 because he has a good offense. And you know what? They're running with Josh Jacobs, but they won last week. Let's see how they do this week. At number 13, Aaron Rodgers at Buffalo. I just get a feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to bounce back in a big way. We'll see. Will this be a shootout at Buffalo? I just have a good feeling about Aaron Rodgers this week. And number 14, Justin Fields at Dallas. If you're a Justin Fields owner and you've been frustrated all year, you have to like what you saw on Monday night. A Justin Fields that is going to be a run-first running back like Jalen Hurts, like Lamar Jackson, is going to be uber valuable. Just run. And that's what we need in fantasy. And number 15, Matthew Stafford, home against San Francisco. Stafford has been very disappointing from a fantasy standpoint. We'll see how he does against a tough San Francisco offense. He does have Cooper Kupp. Let's see if Stafford warms up for that second half of the season. And number 16, Jared Goff, home against Miami. Here's a guy that was on fire for most of the season, and then last couple of weeks, or the last 2 times he's played, hasn't done very well. So it's Jared Goff coming back down to earth. And number 17, Jimmy Garoppolo at the LA Rams. Jimmy G has been good, and he's got a tough matchup, but we'll see how this trend continues with Jimmy G. Is he going to be good enough to be in the top 24 every week, and can he crack the top 12? And number 18, Marcus Mariota, home against Carolina. Mariota's only hope is gets a rushing touchdown here and there. His passing has not been very good. Obviously, we see it with Pitts. We see it with Drake London. This is a team that runs. And number 19, Ryan Tannehill at Houston. Tannehill had a stinker in week 7 because Derrick Henry had 30 carries. And I think that's the plan for Tennessee. Give the ball to Derrick Henry, which is not going to, bode well for Ryan Tannehill. And number 20, Trevor Lawrence, home against Denver. Trevor Lawrence is losing me. Don't like what I'm seeing. Is it just a bad team that he has? I don't know. And then Denver, tough defense.
Hold on. Can you tell me why Trevor Lawrence is losing you? I mean, he did 310 yards passing this week. What's going on there?
He did all right, and what's salvaging his season too is the rushing touchdowns. He is getting some rushing touchdowns. Number 21, this may change obviously through the week, but right now we got Bailey Zappi at the New York Jets. Bailey Zappi took over for Mac Jones on Monday night, but didn't fare very well. Did well a couple drives, but then after that, the Bears dominated him. And number 22, Jacoby Brissett, home against Cincinnati. We know I'm not a big fan of Jacoby Brissett. And as I've been saying all along, I don't understand. I never understood why they signed him in Cleveland. He was terrible for the Dolphins last year. He's been terrible again this year. That's a very good Cleveland Browns team. Obviously, when Deshaun Watson gets there, it's going to be very different. But Brissett, boy, he hurts, but he's the best of what we have left. And number 23, Andy Dalton will be home against Las Vegas. We'll give Andy Dalton the benefit of the doubt. He just threw 4 touchdown passes, went over 300 yards. Granted, he did throw 2 pick sixes, but I think he's going to get the nod over a Jameis Winston who may not be 100% yet. And number 24, we have Taylor Heineke at Indianapolis. Taylor Heineke threw a couple touchdown passes. He has weapons in Washington. He might be better than Carson Wentz.
All right, let's just look at what some other rankings have. I don't see any issues with the top 12. Maybe Justin Fields, some other rankings have him 19. You got him 14.
Yeah, again, Monday night. If you saw Justin Fields, I mean, he's starting to look like he's running instinctively, and that's what we want to see more of. The don't think so much, just do. And especially if he uses his legs, he's, very athletic. If he uses his legs, he can be very valuable in fantasy. So he's trending up.
All right. And then the only other thing is you don't trust Andy Dalton, or you think Jameis Winston's going to get the start? What's going on?
No, I think it's going to be Andy Dalton. I think he did enough last game, even though it was a loss, even though he did throw some bad interceptions. That offense still was moving again, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had a couple big plays. I think rather than trust a cold Jameis Winston, who really isn't a tremendous option to begin with, and then you're going to use him cold, maybe injured, I say keep Andy Dalton in there and see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on here and sharing your top 24 quarterback rankings. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos because Richard will answer a question in the comment section, right?
Absolutely. I try to answer them as quickly as I can, and you know, I love this.
Those fantasy good fellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
Those fantasy good fellas.